Hey guys, it's Miss Melissa, and now we're in the woods. I wanted to show you some cool things that I found when I was walking out here. I found some flowers. Look at this daisy, that's what it's called. And sometimes when I find these daisies, I like to pull these little white petals off. Boom. I can even blow them with my fingers. Isn't that a fun little daisy flower? I like flowers that it's okay that you can pick anytime you want. I think they're fun. Do you see the yellow circle in the middle? Here's another one of my favorite flowers. They're dandelions. Aren't those cool? They both have yellow, like sunshine. Sunshine's something that makes me cheery too. Do you know that dandelions start off all closed up? See, this is a baby dandelion right here. And then they start to grow so they can open up until they get to be a big flower like that. And then when they grow up even more, they look like this. One of my teacher friends calls these grandma dandelions. I'm a grandma, so I like that name. But do you know that you can blow them? And that's how the seeds plant more of them. Do you see those little tiny seeds on the bottom of those little fuzzy things so they can fly around? Isn't that so cool? I love outside things. So fun. Another thing I like about outside is that there are snacks. If your mom or dad are with you and they say it's okay and you find some berries that are okay to eat, this is called a thimbleberry. The pink ones are not ready yet, but that red one is. There's a thimbleberry leaf and it picks right off. And I think it's called a thimbleberry because in the old days, when people would sew, and still maybe you know someone who does some sewing, they would put a thimble on their finger made out of metal so they could use it to push the needle through and it wouldn't poke them. A thimbleberry, and you can eat it. Yum. There's more snacks out here in the forest. These are huckleberries. And you can pick those little guys too. But before you eat anything outside, you have to check with a grown-up because some things that grow outside can be poisonous. We went huckleberry picking the other day and we made a huckleberry buckle crumble. It was a really yummy dessert out of berries from the forest. Some plants are super duper cool. Like this huckleberry, its seeds are right inside the berry. On the thimbleberry, its seeds are right inside the fruit. Right inside there are the seeds. On ferns, on this kind of fern, the seeds are on the back or the spores. Do you see them? All those little seeds? That's how they make more. I love that science stuff, guys, to learn about my world. And this kind of fern, I always remember that it's called a sword fern. Do you know why? If I break off one of these little leaves, I could show you. Oh, I broke off too much of it. Oh, Miss Melissa. Look, here's one little leaf from a sword fern. Do you see how it looks like a sword? And how it looks like it even has this little part to protect the sword fighter's hand so they could have their sword fight? Yah, yah, yah. It's a sword fern. And there are those little seeds or spores right there on the back to make more ferns to grow outside. When I was walking, I also found a pine cone. This pine cone is my favorite kind. It's from a tree called a Douglas fir tree. And you see all those little things sticking out? Boys and girls, I want to tell you the story of those. There is an old make-believe story. It's called a legend. So it's not really true, but it's a fun story that helps you remember what this kind of pine cone is called. About a naughty little squirrel who kept eating all of the seeds right out of the pine cone. He would crawl inside, and that's where the seeds are, and he would gobble them up. And one day someone came and said to the little squirrel, "Stop eating all those seeds." And guess who didn't listen? That naughty little squirrel. That squirrel is called a Douglas squirrel. And that's where this tree has its name too. So this little Douglas squirrel, he kept sneaking in and eating those little seeds, even though he wasn't supposed to eat them all up. And he got warned again and again, stop eating all of those seeds. We need some to grow new plants. Well, one day, when the squirrels were all inside gobbling up those seeds, the legend, the make-believe story says that they got frozen and stuck inside there. And so those look kind of like squirrel feet and tails, like their little bodies are hiding inside. Isn't that a cool story? I like it. I learned it from one of my teachers when I was a kid. His name is Mr. Lemke. He's a neat guy. It's fun when you have smart science teachers to teach you things. Oh, and right now I am recording this and there's a little stump that's here. And I just tried to pick up a little beetle and he jumped down. And so I can't grab him, but he jumped down onto the book that I wanted to read to you today. When I'm outside, it's a happy time. And sometimes when I get really angry and upset, I need to go outside to help myself to calm down. This is a good calm down place. So when I calm down, I take a big breath like this. Will you try it with me? Doesn't that feel good? I like a big breath. So this book is about this girl, and her name is Sophie. Here's the front cover of our book. Here's the back cover of our book. And oh, look! Can you spy Sophie on the back cover? Look at this beautiful tree that she's by. Wow! Look at this face, though. Poor Sophie. She looks like she is upset. Can you make that kind of face? When your eyes get kind of pitchy and your mouth gets little and tight. That's how she's looking. Here's the spine of the book. The spine, you have a spine. Did you know that? The spine holds all the pages together. Your spine is right here in the middle of your back. That's your spine, those bones. They help hold you together. And the spine helps hold a book together too. Oh, and this is another Caldecott Honor book. It means it's going to be a great one. It's written and illustrated by the same person, by Molly Bang. That's her name. Bang! And this book is published by Scholastic. When Sophie gets angry, really, really angry. What is that an illustration of? Do you see that gorilla sitting in that truck? Sometimes there's clues in books about something that's coming up. This is called the title page. Here is the title, When Sophie Gets Angry, Really, Really Angry, by Molly Bang. And there's that gorilla sitting in the truck again. Do you see Sophie? She's wearing the stripy shirt. Sophie was busy playing. Oh, that's what the gorilla's for. She's playing with the gorilla and the dump truck. That's a fun idea. She was busy playing when her sister grabbed Gorilla and said, "My turn." Uh-oh. Here, Sophie looks like she's having a good time, but now Sophie is getting upset because her sister's taking the toy away from her. That would make me upset also. Do you know what Sophie did? First, she used her words. She said, "No!" But her mom used her words too. Sophie's mom said, "Yes, it is her turn now." Oh. So Sophie's mom said she had to give it up. And her sister snatched Gorilla away, and look what happened to poor Sophie, you guys. She fell over the truck. Sounds like Sophie's day is getting worse quickly. Oh, is Sophie ever angry now? First her sister took her gorilla, and then she fell over her truck. Oh, she's mad. What do you do when you are mad, when you feel angry? You want to see what Sophie does? not good. Sophie kicks. Sophie screams. She wants to smash the world to smithereens. Even the cat looks a little afraid of Sophie right now. She's having big feelings, isn't she? Oh my. Look, even her shadow is red. Whew. She roars a red roar. Look at that big roar. Woofda. Sophie is a volcano, ready to explode. Do you ever feel that angry and your body just wants to just explode? That's how Sophie is feeling right now. Look at how Molly Bang drew the illustrations to show that she is angry and to show the volcano. Pa-bam! She opened up the door and she runs. She runs and runs and runs until she can't run anymore. She's going to the outdoors. Oh, look. It's not a Douglas squirrel, but there's a little squirrel, a gray squirrel, out in the tree. Look at Sophie now. How is she feeling now? She looks kind of worn out, doesn't she? Then, for a little while, she cries. So her feelings are changing. Her feelings are changing from angry to sad. Do you see this plant? That's like that fern that we looked at. And then we know the seeds are hiding underneath. Here's a little critter. Do you see that little mouse? Wow. Now, she starts to notice things around her. She sees the rocks. Do you see the rocks? This one is huge. This one is large also. She sees the trees and the ferns. She hears a bird. Did you hear that when we said that? A little bird went chirp, 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 chirp. I hope you can hear it. There's a picture of it right there. Tweet, 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 tweet. I think her body is starting to calm down because now she can start to notice things around her. She comes to the old beech tree. Hey, that looks an awful lot like the picture on the back cover. Let's see if it's a match. So do you see how it has a big tree with the white bark and big branches? And here's Sophie standing at the bottom. Let's see. Is it the same illustration? It is. It's a match. That one's smaller. This one's larger. She climbs. Have you ever gone climbing in a tree? That's an adventure. Whoa, look how tall Sophie climbed into that tree. She feels the breeze blow her hair. She watches the water and the waves. Do you see the waves and the water? That's a good idea. Maybe sometime when you get upset, you could ask your grown-up if you could go outdoors to calm your body down a little bit. Maybe you could even find a sitting spot in a tree. The wide world comforts her. Do you see the bird? Did you spy it? Right above Sophie's head, sitting on the branch. How lovely. Oh, look over here. Do you see the boat in the water? It's red and white right here by my finger. And this is a special building called a lighthouse. Ships would watch for a light from the lighthouse so they don't get too close, because if a boat crashes onto these rocks, ooh, that would be a trouble. And there's a little town. So many lovely things to see. Sometimes snuggling up with my grown-up and reading a book helps me to calm down too. Maybe that would help you. Sophie feels better now. She climbs back down. Oh, you are a good noticer, so I bet you will spy something. There is an insect, and I'll give you a clue. There's an insect, when I bring the book closer, that you should be able to spot. And it is the same color as my bracelet. It is the color red. See if you can spy the insect that is red. Do you see it? Way at the bottom of the page? Did you spot that little ladybug? Isn't that cool? Neat little ladybug. Lovely. And heads for home. Oh, look at all the things around her in nature. How lovely is this? Look, here's a little squirrel saying chirr, 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 chirr. Squirrels gather up nuts and food for themselves for winter and for dinner today. Here's another little critter. It says chirp, 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 chirp. Here's a red bird. Here's an owl. Do you remember what owls say? When owls get up in the morning, they always say good day. Except that owls go to bed in the morning. Owls get up in the evening and they hunt for little mice, which makes me happy because I don't like mice. But that owl gets up in the evening. Let's sing it that way. When owl gets up in the evening, he always says good night. When owl gets up in the evening, he always says good night. He says hoot, hoot. That is what he says. He says hoot, hoot. That is what he says. Here's a little mouse. Maybe he will be some food for Mr. Owl. When mice get up in the morning, they always say good day. When mice get up in the morning, they always say good day. They say squeak, squeak. That is what they say. They say squeak, squeak. That is what they say. Here's Sophie, and if you look over here, I think you'll see her home. Did you find it? Do you see her red house? What color is the place that you live? My house is gray. The house is warm and smells good. Everyone is glad she's home. I'm home, she says. Can you tell that her mom is happy to see her? It looks like her mom is ready to give her a hug. Oh, hugs feel good. Her dad is reading a book. Did you see what her sister is working on? She's building a puzzle on the table. Oh, I'm glad Sophie settled down and could come back home and enjoy her family. Oh, look! They're all back together and they're working on a project together. They're building a puzzle of a ship, of a white and red ship on the water. And look who's watching, her gorilla sitting in the green chair. She's with her daddy and her mommy and her sister. There's her cat. It says, everything's back together again. Sophie was angry. And Sophie had big feelings. And Sophie had to find a way to settle her body down. After she was done being angry, she was sad for a while. And then, when her body started to calm down, she got to notice lovely things around her. Right now, I am noticing a little mosquito flying around my ear. I hope he does not bite me. And Sophie isn't angry anymore. Look at what Sophie's doing. She drew a picture of her family. And she used paint. And look, there's that tall beech tree that she climbed to the top of. There's the boat on the water. Here's some lovely flowers. And underneath her easel, where she's making her painting, is her cat. And her cat says, Purr, purr, purr. I'm glad Sophie isn't angry anymore. But I am glad that we got to read this book together. Look, there's a blue page, yellow page, red page, white page, back cover, front cover, spine. And now it's time to say goodbye. Should we sing our goodbye song? Will you sing it with me? Out here in the forest. Goodbye, everybody, goodbye. Goodbye, everybody, goodbye. We played and we learned and we had a good day. Goodbye, everybody, goodbye. Now, let's sing it quiet so we can hear the other sounds in the forest, okay? Goodbye, everybody, goodbye. Goodbye, everybody, goodbye. We played and we learned and we had a good day. Goodbye, everybody, goodbye. Goodbye, tall trees. Goodbye, cute little cabin. Goodbye, trail in the woods. Goodbye, friends. See you next week.